We all know we are the product of our habits, yet we do nothing about elevating our behaviours. We also know that certain things work better than others with people, and we should focus on the things that work best and make these our habit. But we don't do that either. Instead, we keep repeating the same errors every time. What did Einstein say? Repeating the same actions but expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. So we must be crazy. Effective human relations principles are things we should firstly understand and secondly bolt on to our personal operating system such that they become seamless habits that we employ without thought. Today we will look at just how to do that. Welcome back to this weekly edition every Tuesday of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story. I'm the president of Dale Carnegie Training here in Japan and the best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery. We are bringing the show to you from our High Performance Center in Akasaka, in Minato-ku, the business center of Tokyo. Why the cutting edge? In this show, we are looking at the critical areas for success in business in Japan. We want to help advance everyone's thinking so that we can be at the forefront, at the cutting edge of how to flourish here in this market. Before we get into this week's topic, here is what caught my attention lately. The Japanese government is about to introduce legislation requiring companies to set up protocols for preventing and dealing with abuses of power. Pawahara is the Japanese word for this, taken from the English power harassment. It will take a year before the legislation comes into force for larger companies and 3 years for mid-size and smaller companies. By the way, there are no penalties attached to the legislation. Complaints about power harassment have increased 3 times from 22,153 cases in 2006 to 70,917 cases in 2016. Power harassment is officially defined by the government as the act of causing physical or emotional pain or demoralising the workforce by exploiting one's position. The Labour Ministry had issued 6 examples: physical attacks, verbal abuse, deliberate isolation from other employees, making excessive demands, making too few demands, and infringing on the privacy of others. In other news, Line Corp and Mercari are joining forces on mobile payments. The operator of Japan's most popular messaging platform, Line, and the used goods offline marketplace app, Mercari, will let shoppers pay for purchases at stores that accept each other's systems. They also launched an alliance to welcome other mobile payment providers. Line plans to introduce Line Securities equities trading with Nomura Holdings this year, if it receives the necessary permits. It is also looking at a banking tie-up with Mizuho Financial Group in 2020. Last November, Line announced an alliance with China's Tencent Holdings and its WeChat Pay aimed at Chinese visitors to Japan. Finally, the Japan Patent Office established the Startup Support Team last July to help startups protect their intellectual property faster. As part of their IP acceleration program for startups, they send specialists from their IP marketing teams to the companies to assist them. Also, restrictions were eased for super accelerant patent examinations to speed up the process. It used to take an average of 9 months to get a patent approved in 2017, and this is now expected to shorten to 24 days. That's progress. This is episode number 78, and we are talking about good leader habits. それでは行きましょう. So, let's get going. We are all the product of our habits. What we do regularly defines our level of success. Bad habits, good habits are all the same in terms of the production of results, so the input point, not the process, becomes very interesting for those wanting to be successful. How do we ensure that we are adding good habits and eliminating bad habits? Part of the input process is selection of priorities. Going to the gym rather than the sports bar is a choice. Eating that donut rather than that apple is a choice. Discipline is a famed part of military life, and various slacker generations are recommended compulsory military service as a way to fly straight. Where does this military discipline come from? Regular habits are a big part. Doing specific things at the precise same time in the same way without variation instills habits. Doing things that must be done, regardless of how you feel about wanting to do them, instills disciplines, which become habits. You don't have to join the military to gain good habits, but becoming more disciplined is a big help. Our biggest successes come from our ability to work with other people. There are very few professions where you can do everything on your own and don't need the input, cooperation, or contribution of others. However, we can pick up bad habits that damage our ability to garner that input, cooperation, and collaboration. Here are a few bad habits we can eliminate if we want a smoother path to success. 1, don't make it your habit to complain to or about others. When others complain about us to others and we hear about it, what's the usual reaction? Generally not good, and animosities arise and can linger for many years as a result of what is considered an unwarranted assault on our good name. Some people are pretty good haters and excellent at bearing a grudge. So if you want to create a blood feud, then start publicly whining about your colleagues. If you have a beef with someone and you heroically decide to confront them with their failings, expose their inadequacies, and detail their insufficiencies, then expect either the silent assassin who won't say much but will seek revenge at the first opportunity, or the instant combustible who will explode right there and then counterattack ferociously. Very few individuals look deep inside their heart, saint-like, and admit their errors and bow to your superior and wiser judgment. You have just made an enemy for life. How about you? Do you have enemies for life, or have you become someone else's enemy for life? If the chances of success in complaining about others are so low, then why do people persist in thinking they can right the world by drawing others' attention to their failings? Habit and a major lack of self-awareness are culprits. Let's stop doing that and instead find more subtle ways to draw attention to problems which allow that person to save face. Call out the error indirectly. The issue will be raised for discussion and solution, but not the animosity. Make this your habit rather than a surgical first strike. Number 2, help others to want what you want and make that the style of communication for you. When we are direct and assertive, it comes across like giving orders. Few people like being told what to do. Yes, you can gain compliance, and they will do it if you are higher in the power structure, but you won't win the hearts and minds to the cause. Let's become a more skilled communicator and look for ways to stimulate self-discovery on their part that leads them to see the wisdom of the solution that we have identified as the best way forward. Questions are our friends here, and statements our enemies. A statement will trigger resistance, whereas a well-crafted question which leads to self-enlightenment is much better. Make asking well-thought-out questions your habit rather than firing off statements like missiles. Socrates was doing this back in ancient Greece, so there is nothing new about this concept. Find out more when we come back from the break. If you want to be successful as a leader, do the Leadership Training for Managers course. All companies need people who can both manage and lead. Leading people screams out for real skills in communication, dealing with all different types of people, being excellent at innovation, planning, delegation, handling mistakes, doing performance reviews really well, and inspiring and motivating the team. Do the Leadership Training for Managers course now in either Japanese or English. The bestseller, Japan Sales Mastery, is the new Bible of selling in Japan. To sell to Japanese buyers, you need to create long-term partner-level trust, fully understand Japanese buyers' real needs, convince buyers with your solutions, overcome their hesitation, fear, and doubt, know how to ask for the order, ensure repeat orders. This book is the product of 30 plus years in the trenches selling in Japan. Order Japan Sales Mastery now. Welcome back. Let me introduce a couple of coming opportunities to you. On May 24th and September 2nd, we will run the one-day Step Up to Leadership course. If that is too early for you, we'll run it again on September 2nd. Also, starting on June 3rd and running for 7 weeks, we will offer the Leadership Training for Managers course. Details are on our website at enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. Back to where we left off. Number 3, make it a habit to be a good listener. You'll become more persuasive as a result. It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? Listening rather than telling your way to success. Hollywood has glorified the riveting, moving oratory that rouses the masses and points them in the same direction. In the real world of business and in leadership, this is a useful skill known only to a minuscule minority. The vast majority will not be able to inspire their colleagues to man the barricades anytime soon. But with better human relation skills, they can persuade them to do more mundane tasks like ensure the organisation goes forward and prospers. When we shut up and allow others to speak, we learn a lot more than when we are doing all the talking. We already know what we know. By listening, we uncover their desires, thoughts, attitudes, hot buttons, beliefs, fears, interests, etc. By knowing each other better, we can become closer through better communication around points of agreement and shared interests. It is hard to disagree with someone you like. The reason you like them is because of those shared interests and ideas, etc. The reason you know these things is because you weren't always hogging the airwaves and doing all of the talking. The caveat here is that you are genuinely interested in them. A predatory listener hoping to scoop up enough material to manipulate the other person into doing their bidding is not creating a success habit. People are not stupid, and we can all spot fake interest pretty quickly. The wielder of the fake interest weapon will cut themselves to pieces as others realise they cannot be trusted. As we all know, when you lose trust in business, you are finished. Number 4, craft the appreciation habit. Self-centered people are always on about themselves, on what they did and how great they are. They can linger long on their superior qualities and accomplishments, but are rather parsimonious about recognising the achievements of others. These people wonder why no one wants to help them and why they get so little cooperation. Flattery is not appreciation. It is a lie that is hoisted on its own petard pretty quickly. The fake alarm bell goes off inside our heads almost immediately we hear it. So it has zero impact except to never trust the perpetrator. Honest and sincere appreciation is what resonates with us. The reason we know it is genuine is because of the way it is communicated to us. General statements like, "Good job," "Well done," are in danger of setting off that middle fake praise alarm. We need to dig deeper into what was good. When we select the action or behaviour that was good, we now begin to make it real rather than dubious. Concrete examples add truth to our words and resonate with the listener. Tell them exactly what they did that was good, and it will be real. Appreciate people as a habit and do it in some detail that makes it credible. We are the sum of our habits, and that sum determines our success with others. Habits can be learnt and cultivated in any stage in life. We will definitely have habits one way or another, so why not make a conscious choice to use these habits to be better with others for a smoother path and a happier life? Some action items going forward for good habit cultivation. 1, don't complain to or about others. 2, help others to want what you want. 3, become persuasive by being a good listener. 4, give honest, sincere appreciation. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show is here to help you succeed in Japan. Subscribe on YouTube. Share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Become a regular. Thank you for watching this episode, and remember to hit the subscribe button. Our website details are on screen now, enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. It's awesome value, so check it out. Please leave me some feedback on YouTube. I would love to know how this show helped and what other topics you are interested in for me to cover. Remember, I am here as a free resource to help you, so just let me know how I can help you best. You might also enjoy my weekly podcast. Look for the Leadership Japan series, the Presentation Japan series, and the Sales Japan series, wherever you get your podcasts. In episode 79, we are talking about don't read it. Find out more about that next week. So, yoroshiku onegai itashimasu. Please join me for the next episode of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. We are here to help you, and we have only one direction in mind for you and your business, and that is up.